Let's listen in. Well, the NPC is happening almost at the same time with the CPPCC, the political advisory body. So we'll be bringing you live coverage of the events in the next 2 weeks.
各位代表
Fellow deputies,
第14届全国人民代表大会第一次
the
会议
first session of the 14th National People's Congress should be attended by 2,977 members.
今天的会议出席
The actual
2948人
2,948, with
29人
29 deputies
出席
absent.
人数符合
The number of
法定人
attendance
数
is up to the standard.
现在我宣布
Now I declare
中华人民共和国第14届
the
全
first
国人民代
session
表大
of
会
the 14th National
第一次会议
People's Congress
开幕。
is officially inaugurated.
请全体
Please
起
all
立
rise.
唱
Sing
国歌
national anthem. Please be seated.
各位代表
Fellow deputies,
今天的全体会议有8项议
there
程
are 8 items on the agenda for today's
现在
meeting.
进行第一项
Let's move to the first item
审议
to
政府
deliberate
工作报告
the report on the work of the government.
下面请国务
Please
院
allow
总
me
理
to invite
李克强
Premier
同志
of the State
做报
Council,
告。
Comrade Li Keqiang, to deliver the government report.
Fellow deputies,
本届政府
the term of this
任期
government
即将结
is
束
about to come to a close.
现在
On
我
behalf
代表
of the
国务
State
院
Council,
向大
I
会
will now
报告
report
工
to
作
you on the work of the
请审
government
议
for your
并
deliberation
请全国
and
政协委
approval
员
and also
提
for
出意
comments
见
from members of the
一
National
过去
Committee
一
of
年
the
和
CPPCC.
5年
First,
工作回
a
顾
review of our work in 2022 and
2022
over the past 5 years.
是
The year
党
2022 is
和
a
国家
year of
历
a
史
great
上
importance
极为
in
重
the
要的
history of the Communist Party of China and our country. The party
描绘
successfully
了
convened this
全面
20th
建设
National
社会主义
Congress,
现代化
during
国
which
家
drew
的
up its
宏伟
inspiring
蓝图
blueprint for building
面
China
对
into a
风
modern
高
socialist
浪急
country in
的
all respects.
国际环
In
境
the face of high
和
winds and choppy
艰巨
waters in
繁
the
重的
international
国
environment
内
and
改
challenging
革
tasks
发
in
展
promoting
稳
reform,
定的
development and stability at home. The party's Central Committee, with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, brought together the Chinese people of all ethnic groups and led them in meeting difficulties head-on. We acted on the requirements of responding effectively to COVID-19, maintaining economic stability and ensuring security and development, and intensified macro regulations. As a result, we stabilized the economy, steadily enhanced development quality, and maintain overall social stability, and secure new and hard-won achievements in our country's development. Over the past year, China's economy was impacted by COVID-19 and other domestic and international factors beyond our expectations. However, under the strong leadership of the party's Central Committee, we carried out COVID-19 response and pursued economic and social development in an effectively and well-coordinated way, and we improved and just response measures in view of virus variation and evolving dynamics of epidemic prevention and control. Confronted with new downward pressure on the economy, we acted decisively and made timely adjustment, made use of policy tools kept in reserve over the recent years, adopt predetermined policies, and remain firm in advancing supply-side structural reform. We unveil and implement policies and measures to stabilize the economy, formulate plans for task control and overall economic stability, set up supervision and support to ensure policy implementation, and we give priority to ensure stable growth. The GDP over the year grew by 3%, and a total of 12.06 million urban jobs were added with the year, and survey urban unemployment rate fell to 5.5%, and CPI rose by 2%, and total volume of trading goods rose by 7.7%. The deficit to GDP ratio was kept at 2.8%, and the central government revenue and expenditure were in line with the budget projections, with expenditure slightly lower than budget figure. Basic equilibrium was maintained in balance of payments, and RMB exchange rate remained stable relative to other major global currencies. And the grain output reached 685 million, an increase of 3.7 million metric tons. Overcoming great difficulties and challenges, we successfully maintained overall stable economic performance, and such achievements are a testament to the tremendous resilience of China's economy. We step up relief efforts, enterprise facing difficulties in operation and productions, and impact by COVID-19 and other factors. And last year, the VAT credit funds exceed 2.4 trillion yuan, newly implement tax and fee cuts around to more than 1 trillion yuan, and postponement were introduced for tax and fee repayment of 750 billion yuan. We provide guidance to financial institutions on increasing credit supply and lowering financial costs. An average interest rate on new enterprise loan fell to the lowest level, and we also injected fresh vitalities into the market through reform. And MSMEs and self-employed individuals on various sectors have benefited. To address lack of effective demand, we adopt a combination of measures to expand investment, stimulate consumption, stabilize foreign trade. And consumer spending were hit hard last year, and two batches of totaling 740 billion yuan to replenish the capital for major projects were issued. We also speed up project screening, and in 2022, investment in infrastructure has increased by 9.4% and 9.1% respectively. And we have also reduced the vehicle purchase tax to boost spending on automobiles. We also have adopted financial measures to meet people's demand and stabilize employment. We have also assisted special fund in terms of the employment assistance.
全球通胀高企带来的影响，以粮食和能源为重点，做好保供稳价。
We have also in face of global surge of inflation, we strive to ensure market supply and stable prices, particularly those of food and energy. And last year, global inflation rocketed to a record high, and it's not easy for us to maintain a stable price in terms of our CPI. We have also expanded this scope for the well-being of the people. We have also issued insurance to the people that are living in difficulties, and altogether we provide subsidies for more people on low incomes, benefiting about 67 million in all. And the consumption, our consumer demand, market distribution, industrial production, business expectation have all markedly improved, and our economy is staging a steady recovery on demonstrating vast potential and momentum for further growth. Fellow deputies, the past 5 years have been truly momentous and remarkable. Under the strong leadership of the Party's Central Committee, with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, we have met numerous tests, including accelerated changes on the international landscape, the COVID-19, and the domestic economic slowdown. We have won the critical battle against poverty and finished building a moderately prosperous society in all respects, and realize the first centenary goal and embark on a new journey to realize second centenary goal. All of California's government department follow the guidance of Xi Jinping's thoughts on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era, gain a deep understanding of the two establishments, and strengthen the four awarenesses and four competences and the two projects. We will continue to fully act on the guiding principles of the 19th Cities National Congress and the plenary session of the party's 20th National Congress.
We stay to the general principle of pursuing progress will ensure stability. We fully and faithfully apply the new development philosophy on all fronts, work to create a new pattern of development, promoted high-quality development, and ensure both development and security. As a result, we have made major achievements in economic and social development, which garnered recognition around the world. Economic strength reached new heights. China's GDP increased to 121 trillion yuan, registering an annual growth rate of 5.2% over the past 5 years. Over the past decade, the GDP has increased by almost 70 trillion yuan at an annual rate of 6.2%, achieving a medium-high rate of economic growth and also transit to high-quality development. The government revenue increased to 20.4 trillion yuan, and annual grain output remained steady at above 650 million metric tons for several consecutive years. The average yearly urban jobs growth hit more than 12.7 million, and foreign exchange reserve remains stable at above $3 trillion. These figures show that China's economic strength has increased significantly. The critical fight against poverty was won. Thanks to 8 years of continued efforts, close to 100 million poor rural residents out of poverty. That's a total of 832 impoverished counties, including more than 9.6 million poverty-stricken people relocated from inhospitable areas. We have thus, once and for all, resolved the problem of absolute poverty in China. Fruitful gains were made in scientific and technological innovation. We have made new breakthroughs in key technologies and core fields, and the spending on R&D increased from 2.1% to about 2.5% of GDP. The economic structure continued improved. The value added of high-tech manufacturing and of equipment manufacturing increased by annual average of 10.6% and 7.9% respectively. China's digital economy continued to grow in strength. The population of urban residents, permanent urban residents, rose from 60.2% to 65.2%. And the new drivers of growth developed at a faster pace. Infrastructure was further upgraded. The length of in-service high-speed railways increased from 25,000 kilometers to 42,000 kilometers. The expressway network expanded to 177,000 kilometers. And installed power capacity increased by more than 40%. Reform and opening up were deepened. We deepened reform and opening up across the world and create a new pattern of development. We further promoted supply-side structural reform and reform to streamline administration, delegate power, improve regulation, upgrade services, and a notable improvement has been made in the business environment. Joint efforts to advance BRI and also China play a key part in RCEP, and China's total volume of trade increased on an annual basis of 8.6%, reaching 40 trillion yuan. It has thus been the top global trader for many years running. The quality of the equal environment improved significantly. Energy consumption per unit of GDP dropped by 8.1%. And in cities at above the prefecture level, the average number of days with heavy air pollution fell by over 50%. The living standards rose steadily, and the increase of the wages is in line with the increase of the economy, and also the basic old age insurance covers 1.05 billion people. Over the past decade, we have rebuilt more than 42 million housing units in run-down urban areas, and over 100 million people have moved into new apartments. After many years of meticulous preparation, we successfully presented the world with streamlined, safe, and splendid 2022 Winter Olympic and Paralympic Games, thus making great contributions to promoting the Olympic movement as well as solidarity and friendship among the peoples of all countries. Since COVID-19 struck more than 3 years ago, the CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core has played the people and their lives above all else. It has boosted supplies of medical resources and materials and make every effort to ensure treatment of all patients, effectively safeguarded our people's health and safety, and improved and adjusted response policies and measures in light of changing conditions. The Chinese people have pulled through with fortitude and resilience and secured a major and decisive victory in the fight against COVID-19. All locality departments and organizations have made tremendous efforts, and people in various sectors have worked together to get through tough times, and all medical personnel have remained fearless in the face of adversity. And all people in their hundreds of millions have prevailed over many difficulties and challenges, made great sacrifice, and played their due part. It's not been an easy journey for anyone, but together we have overcome the huge challenge of COVID-19. As the pandemic not yet over, we must keep working to consolidate our achievements in both COVID-19 response and economic and social development. Fellow deputies, over the past 5 years, we have fully implemented the decisions and plans of the Party Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core. The highlights of our work as follows. First, we developed new ways of conducting macro regulations to keep the economic operating within a proper range. In response to a succession of grave challenges, including mounting protectionism and the pandemic, we adopted new ways of conducting macro regulation, avoided over-reliance on investment as a means of achieving economic growth, and we step up range-based, targeted, well-timed, and precision regulation. We support by the macro policy while refraining from adopting a deluge of strong stimulus policies, and we work to ensure stability on 6 fronts and security in 6 areas. We pursue a proactive fiscal policy. The deficit was kept at a reasonable level over these 5 years. The deficit to GDP ratio remained at 3%, and we continue to improve our policies on large-scale tax and fee cuts. And we also to reduce the old one of the taxation, and by establishing the new one. For the small enterprises, the minimum corporate income tax rate was cut from 10% to 2.5% in real terms. The 5 years, the tax cuts and the fee reductions respectively totaled 5.4 trillion yuan and 2.8 trillion yuan. This policy not only helped enterprises overcome difficulties and stay afloat, but also nurtured business growth and cultivated sources of tax revenue. On average, over 11 million market entities, including enterprises and self-employed individuals, were newly registered. And the central government met all of its annual targets for budgetary revenue, and national fiscal revenue also met the target. We channeled more fiscal resources toward local levels, with the share of transfer payments to local governments rising to about 70% of central government expenditures. And at all levels, government kept their belts tightened. And over 7% of government expenditures went toward ensuring the people's well-being. We continued a prudent monetary policy. We made flexible policy adjustments in view of new developments and gave more support to the real economy. The balance of loans to the manufacturing sector increased from 16.3 trillion yuan to 27.4 trillion yuan. Inclusive loans to MSMEs increased at an annual rate of 24%. And we saw that the RMB exchange rate floated with greater flexibility at an adaptive, balanced level. And we also safeguard that there's no major risks happened. We pursue an employment-first policy. Stable employment has remained a key indicator, and also we work hard to promote the policy in this regard. The ratio of enterprises' contribution to basic old age insurance was lowered from 20% to 16%. The National Social Security Fund was replenished to expand its scale from 1.8 trillion yuan to over 2.5 trillion yuan. We also implemented policies to support training and also support the entrepreneurship and innovation nationwide. We have held the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Week for 8 consecutive years. We also encourage job creation through business startups and new and flexible employment forms, which has also become an important source of employment and increased growth. We also carry out a 3-year action plan and also trained a lot of people. That's over 83 million. And for a country with over 1.4 billion people has kept employment stable, and such stability is a source of tremendous creativity.
Prices were kept generally stable, refrained from rapidly increasing the deficit by a large margin in response to shocks in printing an excessive amount of money. And this creates the macro conditions needed for stabilizing prices. There were double efforts to bolster agricultural production, ensure better linkage between production and sales, and manage reserve more effectively, ensure stable supply of agricultural products. We also addressed shortage of coal and electricity to meet residential production energies. And for the past decades, the CPI has been kept at a low level of around 2%. That's been conducive to maintaining the order of the market economy and create leeway for macro policy implementation, and most importantly, a better meeting the basic living needs of our people. 2. We secure victory in a critical battle against poverty within the set time frame and consolidate and build on our gains and poverty alleviation. The hardest task in building moderately prosperous society in rural areas and impoverished regions in particular. We carry out the policy of target policy, poverty alleviation with a focus on impoverished areas such as 3 regions and 3 prefectures. We weight policy support toward these areas and provide and address their biggest concern. And their local income has also been increased, and their condition has been substantially increased. We also have consolidate and build on our achievements in poverty alleviation, promote revitalization in rural areas, make sure that through our efforts, they will not return to poverty, and also we strengthen our support to key areas and help them to accelerate their growth and increase their income. 3. We deepen reform in key areas and crucial links to energize the market and stimulate social creativity. We continue to reform the transformation of the government and also make contribution to a well-functioning government. We have also continued to give access to market power. And since the introduction of the negative list system, the list has been shortened by 64%. We have also canceled delegated to lower authorities and power administrative approval for over 1,000 items, and the slash number of investment items subject to central government approval by over 90%. Number of industrial production permit categories been reduced from 6 to 10, and approval time for construction projects has been cut to no more than 120 working days. We carry out the institutional reform in business sector and introduce reform to separate out business license from certificate requiring starting business. We also improved the regulations and took stronger actions against monopolies, and now more than 90% of the government services can be accessed online, and over 200 high-demand services, including household certification and other transfer, can be handled online. And by the end of last year, there were over 52 million enterprises and more than 110 million self-employed individuals in China, and the total number of market entities has surpassed the 160 million mark. And as a result, the internal momentum for development has increased remarkably. We also promote the common development of enterprises on all forms of ownership. The tasks set out the 3 years action plan for SOE reform were completed, and the modern corporate structure were improved. And we also promote sound development of private business by removing hidden barriers of various forms. And we continue to reform the fiscal taxation and financial system, deepen reform of the budgetary management system, and boost budget transparency. We advance reform and to divide fiscal powers and spend responsibility between central and local government. 4. We fully implement the innovation-driven development strategies and improve and upgrade the industrial structures. The leading role of the technological innovation was reinforced. We gave full play to the role of higher education institutions, research institutes. We launched a number of major scientific innovation projects that have efforts to secure breakthroughs in core technologies in key fields. We also leverage market-based mechanism to encourage enterprise innovations. Add additional tax deduction for R&D expenses were increased on several occasions. This policy was extended to cover all eligible sectors on a temporary basis. We also set up accelerated pace of equipment upgrading and technological transformation of enterprises, and provincial policies on accelerated integration of fixed assets were extended to cover the entire manufacturing sectors. We speed up the development of emerging economies and support development of platforms so that it can also boost the manufacturing as well as the consumption market. The Made in China product quality has also been improved and more competitive. We expanded effective domestic demand and promote coordinated regional development and new urbanization.
To create a new pattern of development, we strive to expand consumption-effective investment. Before the outbreak of the pandemic, consumption has become the primary driver of China's economic growth, and we promoted personal income growth and also the integration of both online and offline consumption, and also in a creative way to expand our effective investment and also to further facilitate the projects that are benefiting the people, and we also to encourage non-government capital to participate in the construction operation of such projects. We achieved a more balanced and coordinated regional development. We have seen that promoted large-scale development of the western region, the full revitalization of the northeast, the rise of the central region, and the trailblazing development in the eastern region. We promote development of the Beijing-Tianjin-Hebei region, the development of the Yangtze Economic Belt, the Yangtze River Delta, and the Yellow River Basin, the Xun'an New Area. We continue to advance people-centered new urbanization, further to improve the function of cities, and restrictions also carry out on a permanent urban residence, and we adhere to the principle that housing is for living in, not for speculation. We established long-term mechanism in this sector. The urban infrastructure was improved, and a total of 167,000 old urban residential compounds were renovated, benefiting more than 29 million households. 6. We ensured China's food security and implemented the rural revitalization strategy. We improved policy to boost agriculture and also continue to increase the agricultural production to improve the per unit crop yield and the quality of grain. And we increased the area of high standard cropland by 30.4 million hectares. And we have fully secured the food supply of more than 1.4 billion people. Steady progress was made in rural reform and development. We supported the operation of the different forms of operation, and the more than 24,000 million rural households were rebuilt over the years. And we also further to pay the wage arrears owed to the migrant workers. 7th, we remained committed to opening up wider to the world and expanded international economic and trade cooperation to deliver mutually beneficial outcomes. We improved the higher standard imports and exports and give more favorable policies in this regard, and also established a batch of the overseas warehouses. And also, we simplified the customs clearance procedures and reduced the clearance time for imports and exports by 67% and 92%. The overall tariff level fell from 9.8% to 7.4% over the 5 years. We have seen steady increase in imports and exports, firmly support China's economic development. We also utilize the foreign investment and further improve the business environment for foreign investors, and market access for foreign investment was also expanded. Paddock Free Trade Zone were also further improved. A total of 21 Paddock Free Trade Zones has been established, and also we've seen a high-quality development of Hainan Free Trade Port. We promoted high-quality Belt and Road cooperation and established a group of projects to boost connectivity and industrial capacity cooperation. We have seen that 6 free trade agreements were newly concluded or upgraded. And ODs help to promote trade and investment liberalization facilitation. 8. We strengthen environmental protection and pursue green and low carbon development. We stick to the policy that targeted, law-based, and scientific-driven approaches to deal with the climate, and in cities and above the prefecture level, air quality was good at excellent on 86.5% of the days, and the people enjoyed the good air quality and also the blue skies, clear waters, and large mountains. We made steady progress in energy conservation and carbon reduction. We also carry out our plan in a well-conceived way to achieve carbon peak and carbon neutrality. We actively play an active part in cooperation on addressing climate change.
9. We took concrete steps to ensure the improvement of the people's well-being and accelerate development of social programs. Acting on a people-centered philosophy of development, we continue to increase input in areas important to the people's well-being. And right now, the annual budgetary spending on education is at over 4% of GDP and realizes a significant increase in spending per student. We saw to that compulsory education was provided, and the 9-year compulsory education rose from 93.8% to 95.5%. And the gross enrollment ratio for higher education grew from 45.7% to 59.6%. And this cap was a significant raise for government subsidies loans to college students. We continue to improve the basic medical supply and medical insurance. And we make basic medical and healthcare services available to the entire population. And it is a public good and make it easier for more affordable for people to access medical treatment. And on-the-spot settlement of cross-provincial outpatient and impersonal medical bills were realized with over 57 million applications for settlement approved. We made bulk government purchase of medicines and medical consumables and thus cutting medical bills by more than 400 billion yuan. The preservation and innovative development of traditional Chinese medicine was promoted in order to guarantee the health and protect the health of the people. We improved social security and social services, and central regulatory system for basic old age insurance fund was set up, and urban and rural subsistence allowance benefits for entire group, unemployment insurance and workers' compensation was steadily increased. We refined system management support for ex-service members and provide them with better service and benefits. We also improved the social system, strengthening ongoing money for low-income groups, and provide people in difficulty with remote assistance. Temporary assistance was provided 11 million times on average each year. We have firmly secured a safety net for meeting the basic needs of people in difficulty. People's intellectual and cultural lives were enriched, and core socialist values were fostered and observed. Public initiatives were launched to promote cultural and ethnic advancement. The press and publishing, radio, film, and television, literature, and art, philosophy, and social science, and achieving as well as other undertakings were developed. 10. We continue to perform government functions in accordance with the law on development new ways of conducting governance and ensure social stability. We step up efforts to develop a law-based government to ensure economic and social activities. We exercise law-based government administration and serve the common goods for all. We work to improve law regulation rules and submitted the 50 legislative proposals on the Standing Committee of the NPC for deliberation and formulated or revised 180 sets of administrative regulations. We also submit these laws and regulations for the oversight of the CPPCC. We handle with careful attention recommendations from NPC deputies and proposals by CPPCC National Committee members. We continue to make government affairs more transparent and support trade unions, communist youth league organizations, women's federation, and other people's organizations in better playing their roles. We develop new better forms of social governance. We advance the modernization of urban social governance and support the sound development of social organizations, humanitarian assistance, social work, volunteering services, and so on. We enhance the workplace safety. We also make progress in building up the national security system and capabilities. Fellow deputies, over the past 5 years, we in government at all levels faithfully implement the Party Central Committee's strategic plan in fully and rigorously party self-governance and launch both initiatives to raise awareness of the needs of state through the party founding mission and programs to study a party history and carry forward the great founding spirit of the party, act according to the 8-point decisions on improving work and conduct, and keep up our efforts to tackle pointless formalities, bureaucratism, hedonism, and extravagance, with emphasis on the first two, expanding on official overseas visits, vehicles for official use, and so on. We absolutely invest and strictly dealt with in system constructing government buildings, and the government are readily under oversight of the law, supervisory bodies, and the people. There is no shortcut to achieving economic and social development. Only solid work will deliver it. Over these 5 years, we followed the guidance of Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for new era and fully implemented the party's basic theory, basic line, basic policy. Taking economic development as our central task, we strive to pursue high-quality development and tackle challenges and difficulties head-on, fulfilled our commitment with solid work, and made concerted effort to promote development. We took meeting the people's expectations as the goal of our governance, always keep the people uppermost in our mind, and put their interests above all else. We fully heeded their views and endeavored to gain a full understanding of their needs and spare no effort to solve the pressing difficulties and problems that concerning them the most. We adhere to the principle of seeking truth from facts with full respect for laws and resolutely oppose empty talks and boastfulness, window dressing, vanity projects, and rash and reckless moves. By carrying out these reforms, we aim to foster vitality. We applaud those who live up to their responsibilities, and also we respect the pioneering spirit of the people and keep all motivated, thus creating a powerful forces for advancing development. Fellow deputies, over the past 5 years, we created new ways to improve work related to ethnic groups, religious affairs, and overseas Chinese. We consolidated and developed socialist ethnic relations. We have also remained committed to the party's active leadership of the People's Armed Forces. A series of major achievements were made, and as a result, a number of significant changes took place in this domain. We made fresh progress in work related to Hong Kong, Macau, and Taiwan. We also exert effective overall jurisdiction over the two special administrative regions.
We conducted major country diplomacy with Chinese characteristics on France. President Xi Jinping and other party and state leaders visited many countries, attended online and offline many major diplomatic events, and China also hosted a number of major diplomatic events at home. And China, as a responsible major country, played a significant and constructive role in enhancing international COVID-19 cooperation and addressing global challenges. Fellow deputies, we owe our achievements in these 5 years to the strong leadership of the Party Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, the sound guidance of Xi Jinping thought on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era, and the concerted efforts of the whole party, the armed forces, and the Chinese people of all ethnic groups. On behalf of the State Council, I would like to express sincere gratitude to all our people and to all other political parties, people's organizations, and public figures from all sectors of society. I express heartfelt appreciation to our fellow countrymen and women in the Hong Kong and Macau special administrative regions, in Taiwan and overseas. I would also like to express heartfelt thanks to the governments of other countries, international organizations, and friends across the world who have shown understanding and support for us in China as we pursue modernization. While recognizing our achievements, we are keenly aware that China is still in the large developing country, it remains in the primary stage of socialism with prominent imbalances and inadequacies in its development. And many difficulties and challenges still confront us. Uncertainties in the external environment are on the rise. Global inflation remains high. At home, the foundation for stable growth needs to be consolidated. Insufficient demand remains a pronounced problem. The expectations of private investors and businesses are unstable. SMEs and self-employed individuals face multiple difficulties in business and production operations, and are still the many institutional barriers hindering development. So our capacity for innovation needs to be further improved. We still have a long way to go to fill in or shore up the weak links. Some local governments have used one-size-fits-all approaches or taken excessive measures when implementing policies. Some are detached from reality or go against the public will or disregard the legitimate rights and interests of the people. Corruption remains a common problem in some fields, and we also need to give DA importance and to DA fields and suggestions that people give to us. We must face these problems and challenges squarely, make every effort to make improvements, and do all we can to live up to the people's trust. 2. Recommendations for the work of government in 2023. This year is the first year for fully implementing the guiding principles from the party's 20th National Congress. For the government to deliver, it's important under the strong leadership of the party Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping as core do the following. Follow the guidance of Xi Jinping's thought on socialism with Chinese characteristic for a new era. Implement the guiding principle from the party's 20th National Congress. Act on the guidance of the Central Economic Work Conference. Make solid progress in advancing Chinese modernization. Act on the general principle of pursuing progress while ensuring stability, fully and faithfully apply the new development philosophy on all fronts, and move faster to create a new pattern of development, promote high-quality development, give full consideration to both domestic and international imperatives, respond to COVID-19, and pursue economic social development in a more coordinated way, better ensure development and security, deepen reform and opening up in all respects, and boost market confidence, pursue the stability of expanding domestic demand and deepen supply-side structural reform, give priority to ensure stable growth, employment and prices, effectively prevent and diffuse major risks, promote a full economic recovery, effectively pursue high-quality growth and increase economic output, keep working to improve people's lives, and also maintain overall social stability. These efforts will also set the stage for building a modern socialist country in all respects. The main projected targets for development this year are as follows. GDP growth of around 5%, around 12 million new urban jobs. Surveyed urban unemployment rate of around 5.5%. CPI increase of around 3%. Growth in personal income that is generally in step with economic growth. Steady increases in both the volume and quality of imports and exports, a basic equilibrium in the balance of payments, grain output of above 650 million metric tons, continued reduction in energy consumption per unit of GDP and in the discharge of major pollutants, with priority on controlling fossil fuel consumption, and steady improvements in the quality of eco-environment. This year, it's essential to prioritize economic stability, and also policy should be kept consistent and targeted, and to create synergy for high-quality development. We should enhance the intensity and effectiveness of our proactive fiscal policy, and for DA policies, improve DA preferential tax and fee policies, and also extend its refined policy. We should also give more support to the science and technology, and the science tech development should also help our countries to be more self-resilient in this sector. China has entered a phase of regular COVID-19 response in which prevention and control should be more targeted and well-conceived and more effective in order to protect people's health. This year, a new central government leadership will be elected. Going forward, the work outlined in the previous chapter of this report related to economic and social development must be pushed forward. Now I would like to brief you on several key priorities. First, expanding domestic demand. We should give priority to the recovery and expansion of consumption. The incomes of urban rural residents should be boosted through multiple channels. We should also boost consumption of consumer services and also encourage the non-government funds to join the major state projects and also to shore up the weak links in order to stimulate private investment. Second, accelerating the modernization of the industrial system. We should, with a focus on the key industrial chains in the manufacturing sector, we pool the resources and make concerted efforts to achieve breakthroughs in core technology in key fields and also promote the digitalization of traditional industries and SMEs, and also to boost the cutting-edge technologies further developed and also to promote the platform economy. Third, unswervingly consolidating and developing the public sector and encouraging, supporting, and guiding development of the non-public sector. We enhance the core competitive of SOEs and also protect the property rights of the private enterprises and the rights and interests of entrepreneurs. We encourage and support the private sector and the private businesses, and we should cultivate a cordial and clear relationship between government and business, and also we should compete and grow on a level playing field, and also to try our best to boost the market expectations and confidence. Fourth, intensifying efforts to attract and utilize foreign investment. We should take further steps to open up the modern services sector and ensure national treatment for foreign-funded companies. We should take active steps to see China join the CCTV and other high-standard economic and trade agreements, and these to further support China's opening up. And with a vast and open market, China is sure to provide even greater business opportunities for foreign companies in China.
5. Effectively preventing and diffusing major economic and financial risks. We need to deepen reform and financial system, improve financial regulation, and see that all those involved assume their full responsibility to guard against regional and systematic financial risks. We should also prevent and diffuse local government debt risks. Civilizing grain output and advancing rural revitalization. We should keep a total grain acreage at a stable level and promote production of oilseed crops and so on. We should improve the continuity plan for ensuring the provision, and our achievement in poverty alleviation should be consolidated and expanded to prevent large-scale relapse into poverty. Rural development initiatives should be advanced. We must meticulously and effectively carry out work related to the extension of rural land contracts for an additional 30 years. 7. Continued transition to green development and pollution prevention and control should be intensified. We should also improve policies of green development to develop circular economy, promote efficient and intensive use of resources, advance energy conservation. 8. Meeting people's basic living needs and development social programs, which will improve the housing support system, promote high-quality balanced development, urban-rural integration upon compulsory education, intensify efforts to deepen vocational education. We should improve elderly care service and refine supporting policies on childbirth. We should develop cultural programs and cultural sector. We should fully apply a holistic approach to national peace, security, and advance the Peaceful China initiative to a higher level. Fellow deputies, we should, with a focus on forging a strong sense of community for the Chinese nation, uphold and improve the system of regional ethnic autonomy and encourage all ethnic groups to strive in unity for common prosperity and development. We should adhere to the party's basic policy on regional affairs. We should strengthen and improve our work related to Chinese national overseas to forge a powerful force for all the sons and daughters of the Chinese nation, both at home and abroad. to work together to make remarkable achievements. We should fully implement Xi Jinping thinking on strengthening military and military strategy for a new era, our armed forces, and we need to focus on the goals of centenary of the People's Liberation Army in 2027. We should intensify military training and preparedness across the board. We should consolidate and enhance the integration of the national strategies and strategic capacities and step up capacity building in science, technology, and industry related to national defense. And we should strengthen the support between civilian sectors and the military. We should fully, faithfully, and resolutely implement the policy of one country, two systems, under which the people of Hong Kong and Mr. Hong Kong and Macau and Mr. Macau, both with a high degree of autonomy. We should uphold the stipulated in Chinese constitution the basic laws of two regions, and that Hong Kong and Macau are administered by patriots. We should support Hong Kong and Macau in growing their economy and improve the lives of people and maintain long-term prosperity and stability of the two regions. We should implement our party's overall policy for the new era on resolving the Taiwan question, adhere to the One China principle and the 1992 consensus, and take resolute steps to oppose Taiwan independence and promote reunification. We should promote the peaceful development of cross-strait relations and advance the process of China's peaceful reunification. As we Chinese on both sides of the Taiwan Strait are both one family and bound by blood, we should continue to encourage people on both sides of the strait to jointly promote the Chinese culture and advance China's rejuvenation. We should stay committed to an independent foreign policy, peace and to peaceful development, and pursue friendship and cooperation with other countries, and on the basis of 5 principles of peaceful coexistence. We should remain firm in pursuing strategy of opening up for mutual benefit. And China stands ready to work with the international community to put into action the Global Development Initiative and the Global Security Initiative and promote the shared values of humanity. Let us join hands to promote the building of human community with a shared future and safeguard world peace and regional stability. Fellow deputies, great achievements can only come from hard work, and bright future can only be secured through solid efforts. Let's rally more closely around the CPC Central Committee with Comrade Xi Jinping at its core, hold high the great banner of socialism with Chinese characteristics, follow the guidance of Xi Jinping's thoughts on socialism with Chinese characteristics for a new era, and fully implement the guiding principles from the party's 20th National Congress. As forge ahead with perseverance and resolve promote sound and sustainable economic and social development. And let us strive to advance national rejuvenation on all fronts and build China into a great, modern, socialist country that is prosperous, strong, democratic, culturally advanced, harmonious, and beautiful. Thank you.
Chinese Premier Li Keqiang.